Hello? Can you hear me? Let's do a voice test. Hello? Yep, now it's okay. Okay, so let's start again. I see Jasveer Singh joining, and Jasveer, you are asking a question. Can I show 25 of the total amount latest funds in my account as proof of funds? I'm not too sure what your question is, Jasveer. So if you can kind of elaborate on your question, it would be good. But what do you mean by 25 of the funds? I'm not sure. Sorry. Okay. Let's let's start again. Okay. So yes, I was as I was explaining in the stream a bit earlier. In this stream, I would do two things. First, before I start taking some questions from the live audience, uh, I will try and analyze the AIP inventory and the draws that has happened till date. I did a video on this few months back, I think, but I think let's do one more analysis. I've not done a video like that, so let's look at it together. And next is I would try and analyze the express entry draws. That is something I never did in my channel. I never looked at the results and and try and understand what the trend is like, right? So I will do that now in this stream. Okay, so let's first jump into the AIP processing time and inventory analysis. Okay, let's go. So this is the AIP inventory page. Okay, so uh, uh, some of the basics about AIP inventory. This is the page where Alberta Advantage Immigration Program establishes or declares its results, and it also gives some of the background information about the inventory. So this is a pretty new kind of a development, and it's a good development. When I was doing my application under AIP, I didn't had this kind of a tool. There was a page which used to declare the results, but that was like it was said in the website itself that that could be delayed by up to a month, right? But now, but now we have seen that this stream, this particular website or this particular page is updated more regularly and it's more reliable. Okay, so uh, these numbers are accurate as of 19th of September, right? So not nomination certificate limits are, so the inventory that has been um, declared here is recent as of 31st is 19th of September 2023. So that is very important. Um, okay, 19th of September, this is um, latest. Summary of 2023 application by AIP stream pathway. So IRCC provides each of the PNP, each of the provinces, a limit of certificates that they can issue. Okay. And how a province chooses to use that particular certificate limits within its different programs is is up to the province. Okay. So what Alberta has done is it has got a total allocation of 9750 and it has distributed it equally between the non-express entry streams and express entry streams. In Alberta, you will see that the non-express entry streams are kind of a bit more popular because there are a lot of people who are already living and working in Alberta who might not qualify for an express entry program. Right. So in that case, even if you see here, right, out of the 4875 allocated to the non-express entry stream, almost 4240 is like almost 80% of it is allocated just to the Alberta opportunity stream. Alberta opportunity stream is for somebody who is already living and working in Alberta. One second. Okay. Yeah. So this is for somebody who is already living and working in Alberta. Then 630 is a rural renewal stream, which basically is for people who are um, who are who have a job offer from an eligible rural community in Alberta. And then the remaining 5 is for all the entrepreneur streams. So there are a couple of entrepreneur streams. In fact, there are 4 entrepreneur streams here, and for that it has allocated 5 nominations. Okay. Next comes the express entry allocation. So it has for almost half of allocation of it has the half allocation of all the certificates that Alberta has received, and it has allocated equal numbers to the family connection and occupation in demand and accelerated tech pathway. So that is what it's done for family connection and accelerated tech pathway. Dedicated healthcare pathway.
It's 11:03 a.m.
Dedicated healthcare pathway. So what this dedicated healthcare pathway is similar to accelerated tech pathway, but related to the healthcare industry, and it has more allocations than the accelerated tech pathway, which basically indicates that Alberta is kind of trying to attract more talent in the healthcare sector. After that, construction, agriculture, hospitality, and tourism is called priority sectors, and that has allocation of 975. So this has not changed, and this has not changed since it was published. This is basically just saying that how Alberta has allocated its nomination. Out of this, 7752 nominations have already been issued. Okay. So I'll just take a pause here at this point of time. I'll just check the questions if there are any questions on the live chat. Okay, so let's go into that. Okay, any questions on the live chat? Jasveer saying hello, and Harun Rashid says hello. Hey, hello Harun, how are you? If you have any questions, you can go ahead. Are there more family connection draws? Why not? Like, I'm not sure what the question is. Like, they can very well do a draw, because because once we go into the stream, you will see that there is nothing like they still have some allocations left. Right? As the quotas are shrinking. Hey, Harun, hi. See, yeah, I understand that the quotas might be shrinking, but what you have to understand is that uh, Alberta can change its allocation. So if you see that there are certain streams in which the quotas are not being used, right? So if that is possible, and it's also declared on the website. So I'll just come to that. Just give me a minute. I'll come to that and you will see that what I'm trying to say. So, but yeah, it can, like they can change, and if they see that there are more interest in certain groups and certain streams, they can very well change the allocations. Okay, so I would say we need not worry about what is happening. Okay, let me just post this stream. If they can, like, yeah, I have not seen anywhere it's written that it's something written in stone. I have not seen this anywhere, to be very honest. So I know many people have been asking, but yeah. But yeah, I have not seen any such report saying that they will not change their thing. Christopher Buake. Hey Christopher, any idea if there is going to be a, what's your question? I cannot see your question very clearly. Uh, it's going to be CEC draw anytime soon. So yes, Christopher. As I was saying in the first part of my live, I will be doing an analysis of the live of the IRCC stream also. So hang on for that, and I'll see. We will see together what's the trend like, and what can we expect as we go ahead. Live stream, please. Still hoping for the best. Thank you for your response. Thanks, Harun. And if you like the stream, please put a like on the stream. Yeah, and it will help me and the channel and everybody. So yeah, please do that. And we will go through that. Okay, 1 second. Okay. So I think, did I already? Okay. So I think we can go back to the discussions on the AIP volume. So this is the discussion on the AIP volume right now. So yeah, so here is where I was trying to say that, see here, if you see a line here, right? So the allocations done by AIP or the province is kind of a starting point, okay? But they can change, right? So these are plans are subject to change without notice. And as I was saying earlier, it depends on the fluctuating application volume. So if there is a high interest in any one of the streams, AIP can very well decide to switch the numbers. So I don't see anything that this is kind of cast in stone. But yes, understand that this kind of gives us an idea of what AIP is expecting the demand to be, where the AIP is expecting the demand to be, right? So it is expecting that in the out of 9750, almost half of it is going to Alberta opportunity stream. Means they are expecting more and more applications in that stream, right? And so that you have to understand. It's kind of gives the province the idea about what to expect and where to expect. This in no ways is a policy. They are just doing it what the demand dictates. Okay. So let's now look into the actual number. Okay. So here is again a very good table which gives an idea about the current processing. Okay. So right now we are in September, 21st of September, I think. And Alberta opportunity stream is they are processing right now the application from 26th of June. So this is kind of July, August, September. Yeah, so it's kind of backed up by 3 months almost here, right? And they have almost 2000 applications in queue, and 238 applications nomination limits are remaining, right? But understand this, out of 9750772 have been issued, so they still have almost 2000 applications, 2000 nomination limits remaining with them as of 19th of September. And it can, and the number of allocations can change, as I just showed you. So they still have 2000 applications remaining, and we have like 3.5 months remaining in this year. Okay, so 2025 applications are in the queue, and 238 allocations are remaining, right? Thing about application is that these are just applications, these are not active, so these are in the queue. People have submitted their applications, some of it would be rejected, some of them would be withdrawn. Anything and many things will happen during the as time goes by. Not every application results in a nomination. Okay, so out of these 2025 application, they have still have 238 declared allocations remaining in Alberta opportunity stream. But as I told you, there are 2000 application nomination limits overall remaining. So if it depends on depending on the volume and everything, these things can change. I would say don't base your decision of application on these numbers, right? These are just a guidance. Okay, um, don't base your applications based on that. If you think you are eligible for one of the streams, if you have a very high chance of getting through, please pick that stream and apply to that stream, right? That will be more important than trying to guess which stream has more allocations left and then applying to that stream. You might not have all the documents or eligibility for that stream, right? So what will you do in that case? Okay, so first thing is assess your eligibility. I have a lot of videos on my channels which you can watch for assessing your eligibility, of how the eligibility works. So go through that particular video. That is a very good video on depending on your profile, depending on your condition, you can pick a proper scheme, a proper stream for yourself. Okay. Processing time is almost 4 months now, which is true, right? They are still doing applications as of 26 June approximately. So July, August, September. Yeah. So 3 months is like they are kind of backed up by 3 months here. Alberta Express Entry Stream Tech Pathway. See, there are almost 200 applications remaining. And see, these things to be determined, right? They are not declaring how many applications are remaining in this particular stream. But if you look at the initial guidance, they had almost 1219 applications allocated. So does not mean that they have already used all of their 1219 applications. This doesn't mean that. Okay, so 1 second. Not mean that they have already. Okay, so they still have 200 applications in the queue, and they have not kind of determined they have not kind of determined what is the volume that they would like to declare. So depending on the other streams, on the number of applications that are pending, this number can change. Okay, 1405, sorry, approximately a month of processing, and September 5th. So they are already in September. See here, dedicated healthcare pathway. Dedicated healthcare pathway had a total allocation of 1462. Okay, and out of this, they have only a very small amount in that particular queue, and almost of 1405 allocations are remaining, and we have only 3 months pending, right? So it's quite possible that if they don't see much demand in this particular pathway, they can move around this particular number across different streams. It's very much possible. This is also a very quick pathway, which means that it's kind of it's almost at par with the accelerated tech pathway. Okay, sorry, just give me a second. Okay, so where I was in the dedicated healthcare pathway. So this is a very good example of a stream where the demand is not very, the demand doesn't look to be very high based on the declared data. Uh, it had a total allocation of 1462 for the year, and they have declared that they still have 1405 application, right? So this also brings a very important point in the picture, that this pathway has a lot of nomination limits remaining, right? Now if you were to base your application based on this data, it would seem like dedicated healthcare pathway is a good option. But the thing is that, do you qualify for this particular stream? That is a very important question, right? So if that is the question, then what you do, right? Do you qualify for this particular pathway? Do you have the NOC? Do you have the relevant experience and everything, right? So if you are, say, if you're working in IT, looking to come to Alberta on a for a PNP, and you see dedicated healthcare pathway has more nominations, what would your decision be? Will you decide not to apply, or would you try to decide like to apply for this, because applying for this would be detrimental because you will not get through based on your IT experience and IT NOCs, right? So this is what I'm trying to say. They still have 1405 allocations remaining in dedicated healthcare pathway, and they have already said in the in the initial discussion that this notifications, this limit and everything can change. I see somebody asking a question. Hey Vishnu, hi. I'll just come to your question in a minute. Okay, just hang on, and thanks for joining, man. Let me just complete my point, what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so what I was trying to say, AIP has very clearly said that they can change the certification limits up and down as the time goes through. So it's very possible we have only 3 months remaining. This 1405 allocations can be spread across the streams. So pick a stream that you are eligible for, and then apply for that stream. That would be the best thing that you could do. It is very quick, and they don't have a last date available. So I think it's months. So they must already be in. Um, they also already must be in September. They must be already processing uh, applications for September. Okay. Priority sector: construction, agriculture, hospitality, tourism. Let's see what the initial guidance was. 975, and they still have 557 applications remaining. So they have more than 50% remaining in this particular queue, and it's almost 9 months in the year. So again, it very well seems like they will have some leftover from this particular stream going forward. They only have 150 applications in the queue. So again, this number, any kind of remaining applications can move across, say, a AOS where there is very high demand, or a tech pathway, which is a reasonably high demand stream. They are already in September, and the approximately processing time is 2 months. These two columns are different. This is the last column is basically saying that what is the application date, and this is once they pick that application, how much time it takes to process that application. This is what the fourth column says. Okay. Somebody else joined. Hi, Christopher. I think you're back. Just give me a minute. I'll come to your questions also. Vishnu is also standing by for my response, and please hold on. I'm just completing uh, one of my points that I wanted to cover in this slide. Okay. Express Entry Stream Family Connection. 130 applications are in queue. 350 slots are remaining. Let's see what was the initial guidance. Family Connection had a guidance of 1200, right? And they still have almost 40% of it remaining. And we are like 3 months. We are 3.5 months away from the year end. So this can very well again change. Okay, it has a processing time of 3 months, and they are already in September. Rural renewal stream. Rural renewal stream had an initial guidance of 630. They already have 590 applications in the queue right now, right? So they must have processed a lot of applications throughout the year, and even after that, 590 applications are still remaining. So this again seems like a pretty high demand stream, higher to something like a dedicated healthcare pathway or a priority sector thing, right? And that is the reason probably that they have said that the number of allocations remaining is to be determined, because they can change the numbers of certification limits across the streams, right? So if they see that by the end of the year or in the next few weeks or months, if the numbers don't change, then they can move certain certificate allocations across the stream and allocate some to rural renewal stream. So again, if you think that you are eligible for rural renewal scheme, you have all the documents, you meet all the eligibility criteria, go ahead and apply. It's also something which is kind of a bit backed up, approximately 3 months, and they are right now processing July application. So this is also one of a very good indication that we can see that where the number of applications are high, it tends to have a higher processing time, right? So for example, AOS has 4 months of processing time, and rural renewal stream has a almost 3 months of processing time. So depending on the volume, I think that from this chart we can get an idea that AOS is the highest in demand, followed by the rural renewal stream. So this is the two good takeaway that we can take analyzing this particular data. Okay, so let me take a pause here and go to the questions of some of from my live chat. Let's see what the questions are. Okay, Vishnu. Hey Vishnu, thanks for joining, man. I'm coming to Alberta this January 2024 intake. So you are coming as a student because you use the word intake. I got admission for 1 year PG diploma in hospitality management. Okay, yeah, you are a student. Can you suggest me the most suitable program? Hey Vishnu, have you gone through with the videos in my channel? So in my channel there are multiple videos which will help you in determining uh, what program is suitable for you. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, so I have a video here. I'll just share the link of it. I'll just share the link of it so that probably you can understand what I'm trying to say. So Vishnu, if you are on the WhatsApp group, I have shared the link on the WhatsApp group. Let me just share it here also. So go through this particular stream. It will depend on your work experience, what kind of work experience you have already gathered, and also it will depending on what is your NOC. Okay, so go through this. I hope this will help you. Next comes to Christopher. Let me come to Christopher question. What if your job title is under ineligible occupation? So Christopher, it doesn't depend on job title. It depends on your NOC. Okay, so if you mean your NOC, then yes. If your NOC is under the ineligible list, then yes, it's a problem. So I would advise you to find a job in a eligible NOC and then apply. Okay, I think that's the only good suggestion that we can give you. How much time taken in eligibility process for Canada, PRP and POS Alberta? Yeah, so I was just covering this question. There's a user called Me Time. I'm not sure what your name is, but yeah, I was just covering that. And what we just saw that the current processing time as declared in the AIP website is approximately 4 months for AOS. So that's a very easy answer. Okay, let's see. Any other questions in the stream? If not, what I'll do is I'll just quickly, okay, somebody else joined, Sumit. Hey Sumit, hi, thanks for joining. And guys, if you can put a like on the stream, it will be really good. Why officers ask for pay slips, and after that, how long will they take to issue PNP? So Sumit, your question is two-faced. Why? Because they can. That's the simple answer. They will take they will do anything to verify that the job you are doing is a valid and a is valid and that you are getting paid as per the minimum wage requirements for each of the streams. So yeah, so there are multiple reasons they can ask you for a PNP, sorry, a pay slip. Okay, so it's their prerogative. So I don't think why is a good question. They will ask for it, right? They can ask you for anything. They can ask you for your for proof of your residence here. So they can ask for your utility bills. That okay, show me your utility bill so that you can establish that they are satisfied that you are working genuinely for a company or genuinely living in Alberta, depending on which stream you are talking about. Okay, so there are many things that immigration officer can and will ask. Okay. Um, After that, how long will they take to issue PNP? Again, the time taken is depending on which stage you are, right? So some of these additional documentation requirements, ADRs, come at the initial stage of the application. So when you start your application, at that stage, you will get the um, request for more documentation. So if that is the thing, then maybe your application has just started. Some come at the very end of the stream, sorry, at the very end of the application process. So your officers have done all your verifications and they just need some additional documentations for their file, and then they ask you for that. So in that case, once you give the documentation, it can be quicker. So it depends on case to case. There is no hard and fast rule saying that after you submit a documentation within 2 days you will get PNP. No, it doesn't work that like that. It will depend on the stage of your application. Okay, good. Any other questions on the stream? Before I go back to my explaining on the AIP AIP volume. I was doing a discussion on that. Somebody else joined. Nirvair Singh. Hey Nirvair, thanks for joining. And guys, if you like my answers, then please put a like on the stream. That would be helpful. I received NOI on 22nd June and submitted all my documents and pay fees on 23rd June, but still did not get decision on my application. I am expressing to stream occupation in demand. I received NOI 22nd June, submitted all my documentation 23rd of June, but still did not. Okay, so occupation in demand, as I was going through the stream earlier in the stream, occupation in demand, they have approximately processing time of 3 months. Okay, let me just quickly show you, Nirware, what I'm trying to say. So if you see here, Alberta Express Entry Stream, Family Connection, Occupation and Demand, it has a processing time of 3 months, and they are processing of 5th of September. So maybe they have just picked up your application. So they are still processing from 5th September. So means you said you have applied on 22nd, 23rd of June. So they have picked up your application and like it's still processing. So yeah, it's over 3 months for you, but this is just an average time, approximately 3 months. So yeah, I think you should be pretty close to your target, man. That's what I would say. So any day now, and all the best. Okay, let me see if there are more questions. Are there more questions? What? Okay, let me see if there are more questions coming here. Okay, so are there any more questions, or should I go back to the... Okay, so I'll take a break from the questions now, and I'll go back to the explaining that I was trying to do on the AIP processing times. So that is the discussion that we just had on these numbers. So I hope that this discussion was helpful for you guys. Next, there is a stream for entrepreneurs. I'm not too sure about the entrepreneur stream. I've not looked into it in much detail. Vishnu, thanks for your question. I just switched from the question, so just hold on for a few minutes. I'll come back to the question answers again. Stream for entrepreneurs. If you are an entrepreneur and applying, you can look into this particular table for details. Application by occupation. This is a very important section. What this section does is it kind of gives an idea about which NOC has a very high volume of application, and this basically means that this will take more a longer time, right? A longer time to process. So this is very much possible that if the particular NOC is very high in demand, there are a lot of applications, then obviously it will take time to process new applications in that particular NOC. Plus, it's also possible that the express entry might exclude these particular NOCs. So if you are in these particular NOCs already applied and wondering why your application is not getting picked up, this might be the reason that your applications could be something which is considered high in demand. Okay, so look into that. So these are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, like 10 NOCs. There are 10 NOCs which are considered high in demand. Okay. Then express entry draws. This is the draw. This is a very similar draw that happens with express entry. So for the express entry pool only, right? So if you see here, there are two pools, in AIP. There is a non-express entry pool, then there is an express entry pool. For express entry pool, there is a draw done by AIP also, which basically specifies what NOC you have and then how many applications that they have issued. So the last draw, so in September, we have seen that they have done two draws. Last draw was for family connection and occupation and demand, and the minimum score was 301. So it was pretty low, I would say. The earlier draw in September was for priority sector, tourism, and hospitality occupation. They have issued 300 notifications. So understand that this is not a nomination number. They have this doesn't say that 142 nominations have been issued. This only says 142 notification of interests have been issued, right? Out of that, people will apply, people will kind of apply with the documentations, AIP will process and then accept or reject. So we have seen certain rejections also. So this doesn't mean that this is all applied, right? So for example, family connection and occupation and demand, last draw was 14 September, they issued 142 NOI. But if you look at the volume, right, occupation and demand and family connection, they have like 130 in queue for last a month or so, right? So, and they just issued those many NOIs in one day, right? So this is just NOI. Understand that this will not always translate to a application number. Like this is just a kind of a declaration that AIP is giving with a score of 301, and priority sector, and they have issued 300 NOIs and the score was 383. But if you look at the numbers of priority sector, see here, priority sector, they have like 150 applications in queue. Okay. Before that, dedicated healthcare pathway, only 18 nominations were issued and 300 it was the minimum CRS score. So understand this, that this express entry draw is very similar to the IRCC express entry draw, but limited to the province. Okay. So this is what it does. In August, we had like almost many draws, right? In August, we had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 draws in August. And in September, like we have only 2 draws now. So we can have few more draws. We have few more days pending here. So yeah, we can have few more draws in September also. And I hope one of us or some of us will get that NOI that we are all waiting for. Let me just quickly go to the questions again. I see 3 questions built up there. I don't want it to miss the questions. So let's see what the question is. Vishnu, I have got through all Ainp videos. The problem is that I'm planning to pursue a 1-year PG diploma. Then my master's degree is different field than I have chosen to study in Canada. If I'm studying my previous post-diploma, however, I do have 3 years of experience in company, so I'm quite confused about what to do. No, it's not confusing, right? If you are claiming your PGWP experience, right, that is where the confusion is. Okay. We have studied in outside of Canada, right? We have done all our graduations, post graduations outside of Canada, and we still got through. Okay, so I think the confusion that you are facing is that after doing your education, you will probably get a PGWP, and then in that PGWP, you will how to claim that experience of PGWP, right? I think that is the major confusion here. Not you can very well apply with your 3 years of experience. You have 3 years of experience, you can very well qualify for something like a international skilled worker, right? So you can qualify for that, right? Or depending on what NOC you have, you can get a direct NOI from Alberta. So don't base your response on what you have heard, right? There are multiple streams here, right? There is a AOS. So once you come into Alberta, right, and start staying and working here, you could be eligible for AOS, right? Your work experience might not count, right? Your PGWP work experience might not count, but still you have 3 years of work experience from back home, right? So you can use that. they have, I think, in the last 2 years, you should have a work experience of 18 months. I think that's the criteria for non-Alberta residents. For new Alberta residents, they have a eligibility of something like that. Okay, so try that. There could be many avenues that you could be eligible. So I would not worry much about that, Vishnu. I'm not sure if that helps you, but yeah, I would not. That is not something that's too much of a worry, right? If you are already coming and trying to work here, come here, complete your studies first, get a job, and then go from there. It's right now it's too early to worry until unless you are trying to apply right now, right? If you're trying to apply right now, you can still apply. You have, I think, how much did you create your Express Entry profile, Vishnu? How much score you have? You have 3 years of work experience. So how much experience you, how much score, how much is your score? That will be very important. Okay, let me do some adjustments here. One second, let me just do a quick small adjustment while everybody. Okay, so, sorry guys. Okay, I think let's go back. Okay, so this is, I'm back, and quickly. Okay, I think looks good. Studio. Okay, let me go back. I just wanted to add the chat window here in the main screen so that we can look at it together. Okay. So, okay, Vishnu, can I apply for PNP in hospitality field with this score? What score you have? Vishnu, my current is 348 and it will go to 363 after my Canadian PG diploma, and I have got 1 year Canadian work experience. 436. 348 is good enough. Like, to everybody who applies, who asks me that question, I said any score is a good score. Okay. Creating Express Entry doesn't cost any money. Create your Express Entry profile, create it correctly and honestly, and you never know. You can get a call, right? And this is a very good transition, Vishnu, to the question that I wanted to a topic that I wanted to cover is the IRCC draw trend, right? So similar to the discussions that I did for Alberta Advantage Immigration Program, this discussion is for the IRCC Express Entry draws. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the IRCC Express Entry draws and what the trend and the numbers look like. I have not done this in a very long time, so I have to. I'm pretty excited. So let's go it together. So this is the landing page for those who are new here. This is a landing page for the IRCC Express Entry draws. Okay. Let me just invite few more people. Why don't I invite few more people here? Maybe there might be some more people who could be interested in this particular discussion. So let me just invite those people and I'll come back to this discussion. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you for understanding. Okay. I hope a few more people would join the stream. Then it will be a very good discussion, I would say. But if not, they can always look at the recording, right? I will be recording this and posting it on YouTube anyways. So yeah, it might be late or early for some people. So it's okay. Let's go to the IRCC. Okay, I'll come back to the IRCC. So Vishnu, I hope I was able to answer your question, and I'll go back to the IRCC. Okay, good. Very good, in fact. So, so this is the landing page for all the IRCC draws. This draw is happening every 2 weeks, about every 2 weeks, until unless there is a reason for they are not doing IRCC draws. This IRCC draw declares two things. Number one, what stream you are eligible for, what stream the IRCC is issuing the ITAs for. ITAs stands for invitation to apply. So every Express Entry candidate who creates his Express Entry profile will get a score and will get the streams or the programs of IRCC under which they are eligible. Okay? Depending on these two combinations, you can find once a draw happens every 2 weeks, you can find whether you will get an ITA. If you get an ITA, you will get your ITA in your Express Entry profile. That's not a surprise for you, but yeah, understandably many people are excited about this draw every 2 weeks. Last draw happened few days back on September 19th and 20th. So there were two draws that happened in September, right? And it happened few days back only, September 19th and September 20th. Uh, I know it said in the above that it happens every 2 weeks, and the last draw was almost a month back. So it can happen at times that IRCC might take a quick pause on doing a draw. It does happen, but ultimately they will make it up for it. Okay. So if you look at this draw, you have to look into two things. Number one is the round type. Round type basically will give an idea about what programs under which IRCC is inviting. If it says something like no program specified, which is means that all programs are eligible. So yeah, I know it can be confusing for new people. No program specified means all express entry streams who satisfy the CRS score criteria will get an invitation. So for example, here 531 applications, 531 was the CRS score that was selected. Every person who is in the IRCC pool with a score of 531 or higher will get an application, will get an ITA. And how many how many ITAs were issued? 3,200 ITAs were issued on September 19th. One day they have issued 3,200 ITAs. These 3,200 people will get a notification in their express entry profile, and once they get that notification, they can apply to IRCC for their PR. They will have to submit their application, they submit the fees, go through the medical check, biometric check, background check, everything, and then they will get they will get their PR if everything is correct. So 3,200 app notifications, ITAs were issued. These are not PRs issued. These are just ITAs issued. Depending on your application strength, your documentation correctness, you can get a eligibility here. Okay. Next is on September 20th. On September 20th, there was the cutoff score of 435. So it was pretty low than the no program specified. But the catch here is they have only transport occupation. It's related to transport occupations. Okay. So understand that this was targeted for a particular sector. Again, this is a new trend that IRCC has started, which is basically a targeted kind of a draw to basically address the demand of manpower or demand of resources in the country. So depending on they assess this particular type of their industry, and if they see demand in any particular industry or any particular sector growing, they will do a targeted draw for that. Okay. So transport occupation, it doesn't say on the face what NOCs were eligible, but if you open this particular notification and if you go down, you will see somewhere here. I was just seeing that here somewhere. Let me see where it's gone. Yeah, I think it's loading. Yeah, so if you see, it's still loading. It was still loading. Okay, so if you see here, there are the NOCs here. Okay, so this is where you can find the what are the exact NOCs who were invited, right? So this has the details of your NOCs. Again, there are some kind of legal text here. You can go through this particular text. What is required for this particular what was looked into the applications for this particular draw. So if you have applied for if your express entry profile has the NOCs but you're still not getting an ITA, it might be due to some of the conditions that was not met. So there are some additional conditions applied apart from the NOCs here. Okay, so this is what the current draws of IRCC looks like. They have yeah, it's loading. So in September we have still done they have done 2 draws. In August they did 4 draws. In July they did like 1 2 3 4 5 6 draws, right? So September obviously looks like a bit slow. In June they did 3 draws. May again was only 2 draws, but it was happening every 2 weeks. April two draws. Yeah, so for a long time we were all used to 2 draws a month, right? And when the PNP was kind of a thing, the like PNP was kind of a high in demand, then we used to see 2 draws happening in 1 week, like one day after the other, and that was basically one was no program specified and one was just for PNP, right? So if you go here, like say for example, let me go to a, a, a previous period, like yeah, like yeah, this was then when they started it. So you will see, like for example, in February, like see, on February 2nd they did a FSW draw, and then on February 1st they did a PNP draw. So it can, like, it all fluctuates, but IRCC, I think they are kind of stuck to doing 2 draws, at least 2 draws in a month. I think this September 19th was a bit delayed, and then September 28th is on 9. So we still have like almost 10 days here. uh, might or might not have one more draw, but yeah. Hey Vishnu, hi. Yeah, Vishnu, you can send me a message on my send me a one-to-one message and we can discuss that. What is the current processing time for PNP under AIP tech pathway for outline candidates? Hey Gurveer, thanks for joining. I covered that question very quickly, but for you, I will again cover that here. So if you look here, for you are asking about tech pathway. Tech pathway, the processing time is almost a month here. So they are processing applications from September 5th and 1 month of approximately 1 month. So I hope, Gurveer, I was able to answer your question. And okay, okay. So yeah, so this is how the IRCC uh, trend looks like. So yeah, so transport, like I've seen that they have done a transport occupation draw, they have done a trade occupation draw, French language proficiency draw. Like for example, trade occupation. Let's see what the NOCs were here. Right? That's a bit interesting. Let's see what NOCs are here. Let it load. In the chat, any other questions on the chat? On the people in the chat, if they have any questions, shoot out. And if I'm able to answer your questions, please put a like on the chat, man. That helps a lot. Okay, so trade. There are all again 10 entries here, and these are the kind of NOCs. Electrician, carpenters, construction, heating, machine fitters, elevator constructors, residential and commercial services installers. Yeah. Okay. Gurveer, go through my video on tech pathway. Are you, Gurveer, are you on my WhatsApp group? So if you're on the WhatsApp group, I have or in my channel, look at the eligibility of tech pathway. Okay, tech pathway doesn't like work like a typical express entry stream. So you don't get an NOI directly in tech pathway. In tech pathway, what happens is you have to submit an application. I'll just show you very quickly what I mean. So if you go to this AIP website and you go into the programs, so here you will see the multiple streams here, right? So for example, if you go under Alberta Express Entry stream, you will see here there is a stream for accelerated tech pathway. So you have to click this form and then you fill this form and then you get an NOI. Okay, you got your NOI. Okay, what is the crisis? Oh, what are the chances of getting nomination after getting NOI? Chances are as good as your documentation. So if you have good documentation, if you satisfy all the conditions, why not? I like you have very high chance, right? Because this particular form that you submit to get a NOI, right, is a pretty generic form, right? They don't do any checks and balances here. So you can say that you are working for an eligible company and an eligible NOC, and you will get a nomination. You will get a NOI, right? So it's trust based, right? But it's only when you submit your actual applications and everything, it comes to the fact that whether you will get a nomination or not, right? So NOI is not any indication that you will get a nomination. It's only a first or like a second step in your process. So, but I am sure you have all the documents and you are filling it up totally honestly, and you will get you will get a PNP if everything is correct. And I wish you all the best, Gurveer. Any other questions on the stream? I What I'll do is probably I'll also do a video on filling up this particular form. I already have a video on how to fill up this particular form, but I'll do an updated video on this also, so that it's helpful for people. Okay. Okay. So what's next? Let's see if there are more people willing to ask any questions or not. Vishnu, are you on the WhatsApp group? Okay. Okay. I think I covered what I wanted to cover in this particular stream. I'll quickly go through my YouTube comment section, and I'll just discuss some of the questions. Okay. Yes. Any other questions, guys? I see one more question coming through. Just give me a minute.
The time is 12:04 p.m.
Okay. Okay. So it's almost an hour I've been streaming. It just happened this week. When could the next one? It can happen next week also. Yeah. Harun. What is the next transport category draw from IRCC? That is something very difficult to predict, Harun. They can do a draw next week, but when it will happen, I don't like. It's very difficult to. It's very difficult to guess that. To be very honest. So I will not try and second guess IRCC and kind of give false hope, but it can happen. Let me just show you. Let's see what was the last draw like. How many times they have done this transport draw, right? Because they just started uh, this specific draw very recently. Okay, so let's see when they did. So they did a transport occupation draw like few days back, and I'm not seeing they have done it earlier. like till they started this particular scheme. Yeah, so this was the first time, and depends on its success. Depending on its success, it can uh, they can do more in future. But I think they have done the draw. They have issued almost 1,000 invitations already. I'm not sure how many are in the pool right now. Okay, speaking of how many are in the pool, that's a very good segue on looking at the volume. Let's see what the volume looks like. Okay, let's see what the volume looks like. Let's see what the volume looks like. Yeah, Harun, you are right. It was the first one. I just tried to join using the link description, which says the link is okay. Vishnu. Okay, I know what you're saying. I think that group is full. This particular group is full. But let me just see if I can give you a link. There is one more WhatsApp group that I have created, but that's for the premium members. So you can try joining that if that helps, and that we can. That's a group. Not many people. That group is pretty open. So if you want to take membership, if you want to join my channel, you will get a link for that particular group. So that's a way of checking that, getting another group. But I'll give you the link of this particular group also, the open group. The only thing is that you keep trying. That group is full, but I'm sure that if once few more people leave, you can join. I'll just put it on the chat here so that that's the group. Let me just pin this also. I just pinned it. Harun, I just explained it for 30-40 minutes before this particular I think you missed that part. But once I end this stream, you should be able to understand the volume, the thing that I just explained, right? So just go through my recorded YouTube video. This will be available on YouTube. Yeah. So I just went through it almost. I spent 30-40 minutes on it already. Okay. Okay, let's look at the CRS distribution as on 19th of September. So the draw was done on 20th of September, and before that on 19th of September, this is how the pool looks, right? So there are a total number of 260,000 people in the pool, and if you look at that, 2,600 people are from us, the range of 601 to 1,200. In most of the cases, in my experience, 90-95% of 90 to 95% of time, these are the people who already have a nomination, right? So if you are sitting in a pool with a score of more than 600, it's highly possible that you have a PNP nomination. Okay, not always, but yes, it's possible. Okay, so 601 is that particular range. 501 to 600, 3091 people were in the queue, and understand is that 30 out of this 3091 people, almost 3,000. What was the previous round saying? Let's see, what was the previous round on 19 September said? Let it just come up. Yeah, so see, 531, 3,200 people were invited on September 19th, right? So this particular volume could be just a bit before that particular draw. So almost everybody got invited here, right? So in this pool, so everybody got invited from the 601 to 1,200 pool, and then the remainders would have got from here. Okay, so that's kind of a reading of this particular table. Let it just come up. It's a bit slow today. Oh, wait. Yeah. So 3091. What happened? I don't know what happened. Why it just gave up. But okay, let's go back and see this. Okay, I think it's not a good day for this discussion. Okay, let's see if I can get this working off camera and then try. Okay, yeah, it came back. So look here. So out of 3,200 applications, 620, all of these must have got their nominations, and after this, the remainder would have got nominations here. The biggest pool is here, 451 to 500. After that, no, the biggest pool is in fact here, 351 to 400. Okay. And then after this, the next biggest pool is 451 to 500 and 500. Yeah, but understand that this also changes based on number of years of experience on your birthday. The score keeps going up and down, so the numbers can fluctuate across. But this just gives an idea about where most of the people are, right? Like 0 to 300, there are almost 5,000 people. That's the least. Okay. So yeah, looks like 216,000 people here already in the pool waiting. So I wish everybody all the best. And if you are one of these people, all the best to you guys. And I hope that you will get what you are looking for. Okay. Let me now quickly go through some of my comments on my YouTube so that you can understand this. Okay. Let me go through my YouTube comments. Sorry. Okay. I'll answer. I'll go through my YouTube comments and try and answer few of them. Now, some of the questions I have not responded, so sorry for that. But yeah, let's look at the comments. I'll just show that screen. Yeah, so these are this is my YouTube channel comments. I have a question. I'm from Pakistan. I have a LMI approved tech offer from last 3 months. I was working remotely from my home country. I don't have a work permit. Please guide me. Should I apply first for work permit to on site, or should I apply directly? Or should I directly apply tech pathway and PR from home country? For tech pathway, you don't need to be in Alberta, okay? But you need a genuine worker. You need a genuine job offer, and you need to satisfy all the other conditions. Okay, so that is the most important thing. So if you satisfy all the conditions about your CRS score, about your NOC, uh, about your NAIA, ICS, there are multiple criterias in tech pathway. Okay, so if you satisfy all the conditions in the tech pathway, you can you can uh, you can be eligible, right? So this is, I would say, yeah, this is my response. If you And yeah, so you have to satisfy all the conditions. That would be my response. Okay. My question is, I have graduated from DLI approved college from Ontario. I'm on open PGWP now. I'm currently working in Calgary full-time job with same fit my college in Ontario. Can I apply for VES after 6 months? No. Uh, I think again the question here is about your counting of your PGWP experience towards your work experience. So no. If this is the only experience, only work experience you have, then unfortunately no. But you can very well try other stream. Okay, I see some more people in the chat. If you have any questions, shoot out. Okay, how can you join my WhatsApp group? I just shared the link on my YouTube live. Let me just copy that link. Again, I'll copy that link again. Okay, I hope this helps you. Okay, 2 weeks ago. This is a question on Ainp. I'm not. Yeah, I think I have some more questions to catch up, but I think I'll answer that. So these are the questions from the YouTube comments that I wanted to answer. People on the chat, if you have any questions, I have created my Express Entry profile. My score is 325, NOC is 3120, and there is no chances of getting MP condition. Please see, just depending on your NOC, it's very difficult to guess whether your chances are high, right? So, Zahir, are you looking for Express Entry nomin a direct nomination for SI for from Aaip? If you are expecting that, I just covered this content in my live earlier. I think you joined a bit late, but if you look into, I'll just quickly, if I can cover, or you can look at it uh, on look at it a bit later when this goes live on the YouTube. But if you see here, the last draws that happened, like your 31120 is at least not on a very high demand list. So maybe see here, the last draw that happens, you are pharmacist, but the draws that IRCC has been, sorry, AIP has been doing is basically for family connection primary demand, right? Uh, do you know if your NOC is under, can be eligible under dedicated healthcare pathway? Do you know that? Let's see that. If I go to streams, express entry here, present stream, and if I go to eligibility, and if I go to dedicated healthcare pathway, and if I see a NOC here, see, physician, no, this is not NOC, right? Yeah, so you have to check your eligibility, number one. I think that's the main thing, Zahir, that you would have to check. So if you If you are eligible, you can very well get an NOI. That's not a concern that I have. The only thing is that your NOC, I don't see anything here, but yeah, there are other streams here that you can check for. I'm not sure 31120 is eligible for dedicated healthcare pathway or not. So depending on what, but the trend that I'm seeing now, uh, the trend that I'm seeing now is basically family connection and then priority sector. I think that is what had happened. They did a draw of healthcare on 19, but before that also I think family connection and priority sector looks like something that Alberta is focusing on in last few months. So I'm not sure if that helps you. But I wish you all the best, man. Yeah, you should be able to get through what you want. Any other questions on the chat? I think I've done this stream for almost an hour now. If there are no more questions, I will end the stream. For people who have already in the stream, if you want to go through any of the discussion that I just had, you will have the recorded session on YouTube. You can look into that. And if there are no more questions, I'll end the stream now and I'll see you in the next stream. Bye bye.